Welcome back, beautiful people. It's your TTA Pro, Mr. O, back with another episode. Today, we're going to focus on the March 2022 EST exam. Today, we're going to focus on the March 2022 EST exam. So نبدأ مع passage number one. فك review passage number one. Basically بنتكلم عن the main character, Phileas Fogg. So actually, let me do this right here. So we talk about Phileas Fogg. And basically زي ما انتوا عارفين في الفيكشن بنركز على character plus character traits. So هنا في الباسج بيركز لنا في character traits شخصيته. So زي ما احنا قلنا ده بيركز لنا على character traits of Phileas Fogg. بيشرح لنا basically he's enigmatic, he's mysterious. بيشرح لنا how precise he is. بيبقى بالظبط بالدقة. So that's the main focus of the passage. So let's begin here with question number one. The main purpose of the passage is to. So بالنسبة the main purpose of the passage عايزين نعرف ليه كتبنا الباسج. إيه لازمة الباسج ده. And so أول حاجة هنقولها the answer would be answer C. Detail Phileas Fogg's character at all angles. طبعا عايزين support. So are we detailing his character? Yes, at all angles? Well, yeah. طيب finish support. So مثلا ممكن نتكلم in line 1 until 3. هنا بيورينا هو second film, right? So this is his residence. مثلا من line 4 until 5. برضه بيكلمنا هنا عن club membership, right? برضه من 9 until 11. Introduction here بنتكلم عن إيه? His appearance, right? He was a polished man of the world. برضه من 40 until 46 about here. بيركز لنا على his finances, right? فلوسه, his credit, his bank. برضه من 84 until 87. Let me go down here. From 84 until 87, he talks about his pastimes. From 64 until 77 برضو بنتكلم عن his knowledge. Where would it be? Right here. From 64 until 77 here, we're talking about his knowledge and who he is. So this discusses very clearly his character at all angles. Now, again, نبص هنا على الباقي الإجابات. Talk about it disparages يعني disparage معناها discourage. عكس يشجع صح يبقى did. His actions in Reform Club, no, this is too specific. Damage purpose of the whole passage, remember that? Outline Phileas Fogg's financial decision. Now again, ده كده هيدينا summary of his financial decisions. برضو معناش ممكن في financial decision بس ده مش الهدف. Argue for Phileas Fogg's importance in the Reform Club. Again, ممكن يبقى detail بس ده مش الهدف. الpurpose معناها it covers all angles of the passage. It covers all angles of the passage. For number one, we're going to say answer C. Let's go to question number two. Phileas Fogg's experience and knowledge of the world is most similar to. So دلوقتي عايزين نعرف well الknowledge بتاعته of the world لازم نلاقي الجزء بيتكلم عن knowledge of the world first of all. All right, لازم نتكلم عن knowledge of the world, and where do we find it? Here. I think this is the part can بيكلمنا أو ركز لنا على knowledge of the world. Had he traveled, it was likely for no one seemed to know the world more familiarly. There's no spot on secluded that he did not appear to have an intimate acquaintance with. He often corrected with very few clear words the thousand conjectures advanced by members of the club as to lost and unheard of travels. So he had knowledge of other people ما كانش عندهم. صح؟ He knows secrets of the world. أماكن غريبة. So what would we say his knowledge of the world is like? A student who has read many books. But هنا it shows he has more knowledge than that. But here it shows us more than that. There was no spot so secluded that he did not appear to have an intimate acquaintance with it. So that indicates he knows every spot, حتى if it's isolated. Answer B, a simple man who has never left London. The عكس passage صح. Because it shows that he does have knowledge of the world. والسؤال بيسألنا experience and knowledge of the world. Answer C, a young woman thirsty for adventure. I mean, no, right? Because he already has that knowledge. There's no indication of thirst for adventure. We're going to go with answer D. A traveler who has gone to every country in the world is most similar to مش بيقول هو كده. السؤال بيقول لنا شبه مين. It's equal to what? So برضو read the question carefully. Be very careful when you choose the questions دولت عشان طالب يقول والله لا هو ما صفاش لكل بلد لا بس السؤال بيسألنا شبه أنهي إجابة شبه أنهي situation. Which of the following is true? Number three. Which of the following is true of Phileas Fogg's character? I think with number three here we have evidence connected to it. So خليني أكتب برضو الأفرنس معاكم عشان في طلبة بيحبوا اللي يحلوا الأفرنس الأول، في طلبة بيحبوا يحلوا السؤال الأول. I'm in between the two. I'm in between the two. So here's the evidence over here. So which would be true of Phileas Fogg's character? ممكن أقرأ الأفرنس الأول وأشوف، أو ممكن أقرأ الإجابات الأول، أسئلة الأول والإجابات أشوف. It's up to you. However, simple in his knowledge of the world. Well, احنا لسه قايلين number 4, right? في اللي فات number 2 that his knowledge is deep. زي مثلا واحد سافر في كل البلاد في العالم. So it's not simple knowledge. He's generous with his money احتمال. Timid and shy, especially around new people. He's enigmatical. He's a mystery. He's not timid or shy, right? He's an enigmatical personage. So it's not timid or shy. He's just mysterious. So no. Timid and shy معناه مكسوف. Quiet and standoffish. This is a very negative way. He's not standoffish when confronted. وما كانش في confrontation عشان نقول كده. So we're going to say he's generous with his money. So now we need evidence that shows us he's generous with his money. So if you go to, I think it was 52 until 55, ده الجزء اتكلمنا عليها. Whenever he knew that money was needed for a noble, useful, benevolent purpose, he supplied it. Very easy and direct. Whenever he knew حد كان محتاج money, وفر الفلوس ده. So we're going to say that he is generous with his money. We're going to say في السؤال اللي بعديها, question number 4, line 52 until 55. Let's go to question number 5. Fortune most nearly means, it's not a hard one عشان we go to line 49 نشوف الcontext برضو. I don't think it's a hard one. Undoubtedly, but those who knew him best could not imagine how he had made his fortune. And Mr. Fogg was the last person whom to apply for the information. Whenever he knew that money was there, so we'll talk about his fortune, we'll talk about money, the context became in the financial situation بتاعته. So it's about wealth, money, right? Luck, حظ, coincidence, حظ برضه, condition, ظروف. So it's wealth. Let's go to the next one, number 6. Why did people doubt Phileas Fogg's identity as an English man? I think ده برضه كان سؤال evidence. So برضه خليني أكتب evidence عشانكو من 4 until 7 here. 14 until 25. 78 until 80. And 91 until 95. Okay, so why did people doubt Phileas Fogg's identity as an Englishman? So ليه الناس شكوا في الidentity بتاعته يبقى English man? So it's an interesting one. He was not found doing typical Englishman activities. He was unknown in many parts of London. He was unmarried and had no relations. He was part of the Reform Club. So answer C I will eliminate. He was unmarried and had no relations. ده ملهاش علاقة being an Englishman. وبرضه he was a part of the Reform Club. برضه ده مش معناه في شك في الidentity بتاعته. Again, answer D, his club membership is not a reason for doubt. So في doubt, في شك في السيتويشن بتاعته، في شك في الidentity بتاعته. So let's check out evidence. So فضلي answer A or answer B. And so let's check out the evidence here. Begin 4 until 7. احنا قرأنا من 4 until 7. He's one of the most noticeable members of the Forum Club. No, صح. That doesn't show us that there's doubt in his identity. From 14 until 25. This is a big one. So certainly an Englishman. It was more doubtful whether Phileas Fogg was a Londoner. Okay. So why did people doubt he was a Londoner? So this is where we talk about doubt. He was never seen on change, nor at the bank, nor in the counting rooms of the city. No ships have ever come. He was the owner. He had no public employment. He had never been entered at any of the inns or of court. So all this shows us doubt. I would definitely choose answer B, doubt here. And why is he a doubt? عشان nobody sees him doing activities المفروض الإنجليشمان المفروض يعملها. So he was not found doing typical Englishman activities. So this lists كل حاجة ما بيعملهاش, which indicates the activities المفروض الإنجليشمان يعملها. So number 6, we're going to say answer A. And number 7, we're going to say answer B. بالنسبة other evidences, 78 until 80, it was at least certain Phileas Fogg had not absented himself from London for many years. This doesn't show us doubt. Well, the context in it shows us doubt. From 91 until 95. Again, this shows us هو ما عندوش wife وكده, بس السؤال بيسألنا فين الشك؟ ليه الناس بيشكوا في Phileas Fogg يبقى Englishman. Number 8, penetrated most nearly means line 97. So 95, 96, 97. So he lived alone in his house in Seville Row, whither none penetrated. So he lived in a house where no one penetrated. بعدين هنا بيقول لي بعديها a single domestic suffice to serve him. He breakfasted and dined at the club at hours. So هنا emphasizes how alone he is. هنا for number 8. It shows us how alone he is. So no one penetrated. Penetrated إيه بقى? The house. صح? It's talking about the house. So pierced يعني عندي حاجة and I break the surface. So not piercing. Understood يفهم entered. So we're talking about the context of the house. So we're entering the house. Question number 9. The author uses the question too. So in question number 9 بيسألنا ليه بنستخدم الquestion ده. ليه بنستخدم الquestion ده. Let's see 47 and 64. So this is a rhetorical technique. So لازم نشوف ليه ده سؤال صح؟ Was Phileas Fogg rich? It's a rhetorical question, right? And then had he traveled, and it answers it right here. So ليه بيسأل السؤال ده? Elicit response from the reader. I mean, not really. واحد بيجي بيكتب سؤال. I don't want a response from the reader. اللي عايز أعمله عايز يشد نظره. I want to engage attention. That's the purpose of questions in passages. Test the reader's knowledge. ده مستحيل مش بيدي اختبار. Make a sarcastic remark. We're not being sarcastic either. engage the reader's attention. تيجي تسأل سؤال وحتى ما أكلمك وبسأل السؤال I'm engaging you. أنا عايز reaction. أنا مش عايز response. مش شرط يبقى فيه response. مش حتى بعديها بيجاوب عليها. And finally, question number 10. What is the tone of the passage? Judgmental, disapproving. I mean, again, negative opinion. هل في negative opinions هنا؟ مفيش, right? Condescending يعني to talk down. To talk down. It's a very negative word برضو. Obnoxious متكبر برضو. The tone is not like that. Subjective and emotionally driven. But again, في opinions, في emotions, في exclamations. مفيش حاجات من الحاجات دي. It's matter of fact and objective. يعني بيتكلم عادي. It presents the information من غير emotion, من غير emotional language, من غير judgments. So here we're going to say answer D. So this was passage 1. Let's go to passage 2. So now دلوقتي in passage number 2 we're talking about Leonardo and we're talking about his calendar. الباسج معظمها بيوصف بدور بس على القلم. الباسج معظمها بيوصف the calendar or Leonardo's calendar and the details اللي موجودة في calendar. Found it. So let's begin here with question number 11. The primary purpose of the passage is to. So what is the purpose of the passage? And عايز أقول لكم من بداية 34 until 88. من بداية هنا basically. The astronomical details are followed in the 3rd paragraph by the explanation of the calendar. So it's telling us what the purpose is. Okay, the latter consists of 8 concentric circles, of which the innermost gives the dates of the religious holidays. كل ده بقى بيوصف الcircles. كلها بيوصف circles من بداية هنا. هنا بيدينا background information, and this is the purpose بقى يوصف لنا calendar. Did I see anything in the introductory paragraph? Obviously, it's about the calendar. صح? It's about the calendar. So if we're going to say introduce the main elements of Leonardo's calendar, and I would Leonardo when it's Leonardo calendar and its effect on calendars today. Well, it doesn't mention the effect today. Right? And that's not the purpose, right? Defend Leonardo's calendar as useful and still relevant. But again, we're not defending. The مفيش language هنا بيدافع عن حاجة. Make clear the importance of understanding the history behind character. Again, are we discussing the importance of a calendar? No. Outline the different components of the artist's calendar and the circles that surround it. صح? And it's doing that من بداية line 31 be introduced by the calendar with 8 things and then tells you okay the calendar بيعمل كذا circle ده معناها كذا circle ده معناها كذا. Question number 12. The overall text structure. So Migi يسألنا text structure. Basically بيسألنا what is the beginning like, what is the middle like, and what is the end like. So beginning, middle, and end. So again, if we're looking for cause and effect, فين cause and effect relation? If X happened, the Y happened. صح؟ ومطلعيش جملة. هنا بيسألنا على text structure, so it has to be the full structure. That means هذا في paragraph يقول لك مثلا cause و paragraph يقول لك ال effect. Investigation, again, we're not posing questions. We're not posing questions. If there we were, okay, بس ما فيش أسئلة يقول لك, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? So that's no good برضو. Now again, here, argumentative. Argumentative كده معناها I defend a point of view. بدافع عن رأيي, point of view. برضو ما فيش language هنا بيقول كده. There's no thesis بيقول, well, if we believe this, then this should happen. It's informative, right? And why is it informative? عشان بيوصف لنا the exact details of the calendar. مثلا ممكن أديكوا example. 941, the second circle shows, the seventh circle gives, right? Do you see that language there? The third, fourth, and fifth circles enable. All this is informative. It's giving us details about the calendar. Question number 13. As used in line 20, stand most nearly means. Okay. Assuming that the map shows how the land and islands stand in relation to the seas. So بيقول لنا the position of land and islands to the sea, right? So stand هنا, how does it stand between them? Endure يستحمل? No. Apply يطبق? No. Erect معناها يرفع? No. Exist, right? To be there, to exist. Yeah. حاجة موجودة ما بين الland or sea. So here we're going to say answer D. Number 14, which of the following is not mentioned in the passage? Number 14, which is not mentioned in the passage. And this comes with evidence, by the way. So خلينا نكتب لكم evidence. 4 until 14, 15 until 17, 41 until 45, 71 until 76. So دولت evidence وده السؤال, صح؟ اللي مش موجود. Now بالنسبة لنا هنا, بالنسبة evidence والسؤال, I want you to keep in mind هيبقى عكس بعض. So the best answer that's not mentioned, Sunday is the first day of the week according to Liardo's calendar. This is not mentioned. And I'll look at evidence برضو من 71 until 76. Here, the seventh circle gives dominical or Sunday letters. These are indicated opposite the days of the month on which Sunday falls in the years designated by the 7 letters of the alphabet. ماليش أي حاجة هنا كلمني عن Sunday, بس ماليش خالص أي حاجة عن it's the first day of the week. Okay, so answer A is not mentioned. With number 15, answer D. Now بالنسبة لنا إجابة B موجودة في line A. Somewhat awkwardly phrased in Venetian dialect of the 15th century. So the message in the panel was written centuries ago. مكتوب في ال 15th century. So ده موجود. Answer C من 41 until 42 موجودة. In line numbers, the second circle on the map represents the months of the year. The second circle shows the names of months beginning with March, which was officially reckoned the first month of the year. So again, so answer C is unacceptable, موجودة. And answer D, I think موجودة من 15 until 17 right here. The beginning of the inscription alludes to religion. In the first 2 lines, the beginning of the inscription, that the cartographer makes an excursion into the realm of theology, into the realm of religion. So theology معناها religion. So ده موجودة. فأفضل إجابة هنقول لها هي إجابة A for number 14 and إجابة D for number 15. Number 16, lines 24, 25, the author uses quotation marks most likely too. So ليه بنستخدم quotation marks? ليه بنستخدم quotation marks من 24 until 25? يعني نشوفهم الأول. Then on the asserted authority of Macrobius, comma, في حد بيتكلم, right? So إيه لازمة quotes? Support the evidence he is providing with a credible source. So is he supporting? Well, yeah. Right? So بيعمل claim هنا, بعد كده بدي support بالphrase ده. So that's the purpose of the quotations, right? Provide a counterclaim. Again, it's not a contradiction, it's support. Break the tone, مستحيل, ده ما بيحصلش. Okay? When you're breaking the tone, ده لازم يتشال أساسا. Switch voice, ده برضه مستحيل, the switch voice. Switch voice يعني نروح من شخص لشخص. بس احنا عندنا نفس voice. So answer D is no good. We're going to go here with answer A, number 17, line 56, employed. So where's line 56? Here it is. Right. But before the Gregorian reform, letters were frequently employed in place of numbers. So they were frequently used in place of numbers. Used. كلمة employed معناها يستخدم زي use. مش معناه موظف وتوظيف ومش عارف ايه. It literally means use. فاحفظوا الكلمة ديت. Number 18. Which of the following can be inferred from the passage? ده برضو أعتقد سؤال evidence. What can we infer from the passage? هنا أكتب evidence برضو من 2 until 4. 32 until 36, 48 until 50, 82 until 83. So what can we infer in the passage? So Liardo's calendar was the first of its kind. ما اعتقدش هو قال ده أول نوع من الكالندر ده. Liardo's calendar was heavily based in religion. Yes, عشان كان في جزء كان في inscription وهوريكم فين كمان شوية. All circles all alike. Well هو بيقول هنا the circles are all different. عشان كده عندنا third, fourth, and fifth يبقى عنده الشكل. seventh عنده الشكل. the second عنده الشكل. The last two circles are the most important of the calendar. We don't know this برضو. If the last two circles were the most important, I guess اتنين دولت في emphasis عليها بس ما فيش emphasis. بدي برضو بيشرح لنا the last two circles زي الباقي. So Liardo's calendar was heavily based in religion. That's the answer B, but we also need evidence. ده مش معناها ده صح. We also need evidence. فمن غير evidence, we are done. 2 until 4. 2 until 4, so I guess of right here. Again, ما كلمنيش عن religion here, so I won't say the evidence 2 until 4. 32 until 36. 32 until 36. Okay, here we go. So the ladder consists of 8 concentric circles, of which the innermost gives the dates of religious holidays for the next 95 years. So it is 32 to 36 عشان is based on religion. عشان بيقول بقى the religious holidays بتاع religion بتاعتهم for the next 90 something years. 40 until 50. Now again لما اجي اقرا 48 until 50 هلاقي it doesn't match. بيتكلم عن moon phases but not religion. If you go to 48 until 50 بيتكلم عن moon phases. The moon phases in 82 to 83 برضه بيتكلم عن المون phases بس المون مش religion صح؟ religion معناه يبقى فيه connection ما بين الدين وما بين Liardo's calendar. So we're going to say answer 18, answer B, and number 19 we said answer B. 20. According to the graphic, which of Liardo's predictions was most accurate? So this one's a little bit tricky. Let's go to the graphic, right? Which prediction was the most accurate? Liardo's times, actual times. So which one would be more accurate? 1455, April 6. 1455, April, I guess, 21 hours, April 17, 22. Okay, I guess, I don't think so. Answer B, 1456, April 6, April 16, I'm sorry. Okay, so 1455, April 16, time 2100. هنا time 12 a.m. قبليها ب9 ساعات. Right, قبليها ب9 ساعات. So I don't think it's answer A. Answer B, 1456, April 6, 7 hours. Right, بس actual time can April 5th. وبرضه هنا April 17. So it's off one day, not 1 day, 9 hours. وهنا برضه 1 day. And I'll say, I guess, I have no idea. I'll say 2 hours. هنا 1461. January 11, January 11, January 11 في نفس اليوم. Okay, and then 1468, February 23. 1468, February 23, 14 hours. February 23. This is off by 8 hours. And this 2100 hours, 21 hours, that's ساعة 8 by the way. Excuse me, ساعة 9. وهنا almost ساعة 9, 9 p.m. So here we're going to say answer C. I want you to keep in mind, right? If I have a 24-hour clock, الساعة مثلا 17 hours, كده الساعة 5 because 5 plus 12. Or لو قلت مثلا 21 hours, كده الساعة 12 عشان 12 plus 9, 12 بالليل. So excuse me, 21 hours الساعة 9 عشان 9 plus 12, 9 بالليل. So which should also be close to 8:44 p.m. This is called a 24-hour clock. So here, number 20, هنقول the answer C. Number 21, excuse me, the organization of the passage. How can we describe the organization of the passage? احنا خلاص كسؤال شبهها كده في question number 12. وقلنا cause and effect لا، وقلنا investigation لا، argumentative لا. صح؟ And this question is very similar to it. Cause and effect لا. Compare contrast لا، مش بنقارن حاجة بحاجة. Chronology ماشي بترتيب السنوات or sequential. So here we're gonna go with sequential عشان ده بنتكلم عن sequential من بداية line 30 بنتكلم عن circle number 1 بعد كده circle 2 circle 3 circle 4 5 6. This is sequential بترتيب. Chronological معناه بالسنوات. So sequential more than chronological. Now we're gonna go into the next passage, passage number 3. So this passage بيركز لنا double passage لما نيجي نحل نقرا passage 1 بعد كده بنقرا passage number 2. So like we said, this passage بيركز لنا على I think foot deformities. The first passage بيتكلم عن foot deformities مختلفات أو مشاكل في الفوت. The second passage بيكلمنا عن corns وأمراض الفوت. So واحد بيتكلم عن deformities والتاني بيتكلم عن الأمراض. أنا هحل الأسئلة بالترتيب عشان ما نلخبطش. Let's begin question number 33. Question number 22, I'm sorry. Question number 22. ده كان سؤال evidence. بس خليني أكتب برضو evidence. 1 until 5, 6 until 10, 14 until 19, 26 until 29. Which of the following does the author claim to be true? So a very general statement. عايزين نلاقي what the author believes to be true. So here we're gonna go هركز على الصح الأول بعد كده هشرح الغلط. Answer B. Most horses are prone to specific illnesses and physical damage. Okay, and why? Lines 1 through 5. من أولها هنا a large percentage ده يعتبر most of horses have feet which are not perfect in conformation, and as a consequence, they're predisposed to injuries and disease. So most horses are prone معناها predisposed to specific illnesses, to certain diseases and physical damage, certain injuries. So the answer بتاعتنا B والevidence بتاعتنا answer A. If you check the other answers, so for example, animals raised on marshy soils are known to eventually get flat foot. هو ما بيقولش all animals, so it's too extreme. Flat foot موجود أعتقد in lines 8 through 10, right here. Common to some breeds, especially heavy lymphatic animals raised on low marshy soils. So flatfoot, right? It is a peculiarity common to some breeds. Peculiarity. It's such a weird word. المهم. So this one is actually telling us that it is a unique disease specific to some animals. So هنا is very general answer. Animals raised on marshy soils get flatfoot. لا, it's too general, it's too vague. Answer C. 14, the weight of the animal is irrelevant to the disease. Best and the weight of the animal is received on the entire plantar surface as it rests upon the ground instead. So it's actually acts, it shows us the importance of the weight. عشان بيقول لنا البروبلم في الفلات فوت والمشكلة بتاعتها بالويت نفسه. The weight is irrelevant. لا, the weight is very relevant. And answer D, a horse with flat foot cannot be cured. بس احنا بنعرف manage it. And so it's mentioned 23 until 26, by the way. Horses with flat foot should be shod with a shoe having a wide web, pressing on the wall only. So هنا بيورينا treatment. So it cannot be cured. That actually doesn't say that. It gives us treatment. For 22 هنقول يجيب B, and 23 هنقول يجيب A. Let's move to 24. Passage 1 presents a more general summary of problems in conformation, while passage 2 tends toward. So دلوقتي بيسألنا الفرق ما بين passage 1 and then passage number 2. Again, how will equal correct answer, and then the incorrect ones, they're pretty easy to identify. Like for example, answer A, بيقولي passage 2 is narrative like structure. It's a story. No, it gives you facts. Or answer B, a simple outline. But passage 2 is actually pretty detailed. It's not a simple outline. A detailed anecdote. Again, where's the personal story? Right? No, it's a scientific study, right? A scientific study. In 73 until 126 كلها بيكلمني عن flat foot, بيكلمني عن club foot, بيكلمني عن crooked foot, بيكلمني عن corns, بيكلمني عن details on the corns, بيكلمني عن breakdown of corns, بيكلمني عن classification of corns, بيكلمني عن types of corns. So it's a scientific study all related to corns, right? So here we're going to go with the answer D. Number 25, which of the following is not mentioned in passage number 2? So again, I have to look for answers that show me the answers. So for example, answer A, pus causes the case of inflammation to worsen. بس ده موجود من 98 until 100. In severe case, inflammation is complicated by the presence of pus. So that's there, right? Answer B, the blood remains are the only indication of a dry corn. بس ده موجود برضو من line 116 until line 118. But the coloration imparted to the horn by the extravasated blood remains to indicate what happened. So no, right? That should be موجود. Moist corn is indicative of a recent injury. بس ده موجود برضو. Indicates an injury of comparatively recent infliction. Suppurating corn is the most dangerous state. ده مش موجودة, right? ده مش موجودة. يعني احنا لو شفنا من 123 until 126 بيكلمني عن suppurating corn, as the name indicates, is a corn in which the inflammatory changes are complicated by the presence of pus. But where here do we discuss it being the most dangerous? So it's not mentioned. For 25 in Uli D. Question 26, as used in line 4, certain, most, nearly means. So here, I think specific diseases, right? You know, especially predisposed in certain specific injuries or diseases. Confident means يشجع, effective يعني strong, particular, specific. Yes, this is it. Inevitable يعني unavoidable. Unavoidable. So inevitable مش هتنفع. So هنا نقول إجابة C. 27. It can be inferred from the first two paragraphs of passage 2 that the corn, أعتقد برضو 27 is an evidence-based question. 27 is evidence-based question. So let me hit you with the evidence برضو أكتبها هنا من 73 until 77. 77 until 79. 80 until 83. And 99 until 101. So what can we infer from the first two paragraphs of passage 2 about a corn? It alters based on how much blood has escaped from the ruptured blood vessel and the co-occurring infection. Yes, right? Definitely 100%. وبالمرة هقول لكم الإيفيدنس بعدين هنشرح الإجابات اللي غلط صح؟ I think it was found here من 80 until 83. The changes are depending upon the amount of hemorrhage, bleeding. Okay, so a corn alters or changes based on how much blood has escaped, depending upon the amount of hemorrhage. Hemorrhage means escaped blood from the ruptured blood vessel and the co-occurring infection and the accompanying inflammatory phenomena occasioned by the injury. So here, word for word, same idea, different words. So again, that corn changes based on how much blood escaped, based on how much is the hemorrhage from the ruptured blood vessel and the co-occurring infection from the hemorrhage, the blood vessel, and the hodal infection. So we're going to say answer C and answer A. Now, again, when we talk about wrong answers, for example, let's check out answer B. That corn occur most often outside the feet. So هنا نقول answer A. Occur most often outside of the feet. However, لو بصيت على 78 و 79, they are found more often in the inner side of the feet. So that's. Or check out answer C, refers to a bruised mark on the animal. So although corn ممكن يبقى bruised, that doesn't مش معناها it changes because of the bruise. And there's no evidence. Remember, لازم نلاقي evidence. And cause discoloration in the flank of the animal. Again, هل do we talk about discoloration في flank? لا, ده مش موجودة. هتدوروا مش هتلاقوها. So answer A is the best answer. And then the evidence احنا قلنا answer C. بالنسبة برضو ال evidence, it looks for support. So for example, لو بصيت من 73 until 77. لو بصيت from 73 until 77, I think it was here that بيدينا definition مش بيقول لنا أي حاجة ليها علاقة بالhemorrhaging. Or لو بصيت من 77 until 79. Right? Again, ده بيشرح لي إيه؟ بيشرح لي where it occurs. بس ما بيشرحليش when or how it change نفسه. And then من 99 until 101, right? Again هنا ده بيتكلم عن complication of severe cases بس ما بيشرحليش ال alteration, ال change. عايزين change. And answer C is the only one اللي بيتكلمنا عن the changes, the alteration. 29. As used in line in 98, severe most nearly means. We're talking about disease, right? In a severe case, right? In a strong case, in a plain يعني ملهاش حاجة bitter غير I guess demanding no in a critical case in a severe case عشان بنتكلم عن أمراض Number 30, it can be inferred that passage 2 is most likely written from the point of view. So عايزين نتكلم عن okay, who wrote this passage, right? Who wrote this passage? ولو بصيتوا there's very specific special terms بنستخدمها in this passage, right? For example, there's very specific medical terminology that is used, for example, hemorrhage. This is specific terms or inflammatory phenomena. أعتقد في حاجة hemoglobin, right? كان بيستخدم كلمة hemoglobin. كان برضو بيستخدم كلمة echemysosis, whatever it's called. I'm looking for it, but I can't find it now. But there's specific terms here. So it won't be answer A عشان الليفل مستوى هنا أعلى من الهورس بيلر. الهورس بيلر ده الراجل عادي. It's too much information, too specific information, right? A farmer برضو, it focuses on the medical aspects, مش farming concerns. A research student, again, the systematic professional tone is rather for an expert, not a research student, but this is too broad or too general. This is a more specific one. Answer D, a veterinarian, دكتور بيطري. And it's clear عشان بيتكلم عن definition وبيتكلم عن treatment وبيتكلم عن classification وبيتكلم عن differences ما بينهم. So it's clear that it's written for a veterinarian. Number 31, passage 2 can best be described as. How can we describe passage number 2? A refutation to the ideas in Flaffel mentioned passage 1. Is it a refutation? I don't think it refutes. I think it expands the West Side conversation, right, on foot diseases. A more in-depth understanding of a specific disease briefly mentioned in passage 1. Is it mentioned in passage 1? This is the tricky one. And actually, it is mentioned in passage 1. عشان passage 1 كان بيكلمنا عن corns, and passage 2 بقى كله عن corns. So it's answer B. Answer C, a documentation of the same diseases. لا, عشان بيتكلم عن corns, ما بيتكلمش عن the same diseases. An outline of a disease separate from those mentioned in passage 1. Well, it's not a separate disease. Why? عشان it's mentioned in passage 1. It's mentioned. So it's not a totally separate disease. So answer D is incorrect. So answer B is the best one. We did a more in-depth understanding. Number 32, which of the following is an effect of clubfoot according to passage 1? So we want an effect of clubfoot. Here is clubfoot right here. I'll take out the evidence right now. In 34 till 35, clubfoot. When this condition is present, the heels are high, the felock joint is thrown forward or knuckles, and the weight of the animal is received on the toes. So what is the condition? The animal receives bruises on the sole. Not really. I don't think they receive bruises on the sole. Tendons may suffer, not mentioned. The inside toe will affect the joint of the horse legs. No. The animal's weight shifts on the front foot of the toe. It's very clear, sir. Very clear. Very, very clear. Number 33, which of the following does the author claim to be true of the oh wait, okay, so that was passage number 2. يعني كده خلصنا passage number 3. كده خلصنا passage 3. Now we're going to go into passage number 4. So الباسج ده بيركز لنا على ايه؟ Number 1 بيتكلم عن ال points of views، اللانجوج جاي منين، اللغة جاي منين، وبرضه بيركز عن ال oral language، ال spoken language، وايه علاقتها مع gesture based language، sign languages، وبرضه في challenge هنا في الباسج that goes against long held beliefs. Now بالنسبة لنا, what are the key points? Historical perspective on language. أول حاجة traditionally oral language or spoken language كان افتكرنا ده أساسي في الفكر. It was believed that humans possessed language from the beginning of their existence. Challenges بقى. The passages question the idea of natural language for mankind. So for example, where was the original thought? In 31 until 33. Right here, it has been until of late years generally held that the thought was not possible without oral language, and that as man was supposed to have possessed from the first power of thought. So this is the old idea. And then the new ideas, well, or questioning these ideas, this is the old idea. Questioning the ideas بدأ في البداية هنا, I think in line 6 until 11. In this examination, it is essential to be free from the vague popular impression that some oral language of the general character of that now used among mankind is natural to mankind. So بيقول لك انسى الفكرة القديمة that oral language is natural، حاجة لازم نتعلمها. برضو من 18 until 23, in the investigation of these old forms, it has been so difficult to ascertain how any of them first became a useful instrument of intercommunication that many conflicting theories on the subject have advocated. So again, this shows us challenging traditional beliefs. وبيقول بقى دولة الفكرة القديمة عايزين بقى فكرة جديدة، عايزين نضيف فكرة جديدة. برضو another important point عايزاك تشوفه هنا من 24 until 26, oral language consists of variations and mutations of vocal sounds produced as signs of thought and emotion. So هنا بيقول لنا معنى كلمة oral language, so it's a definition فده مهم. Another thing أنا عايزاك تشوفه في relationship between language and thought. So برضو الauthor بيورينا relationship between language and thought and موجودة من 31 until 33. احنا اتكلمنا عن ده اللي بيورينا ريليشن شيب، بيقول بيسكلي اول لما احنا عرفنا نفكر برضو كلمنا. برضو من 45 46 until 56, these are line numbers that also show us a relationship between language and thought. If instead of speech, the word utterance had been used as including all possible modes of intelligent communication, the statement might have passed without criticism. And where else? The evolution of linguistic theories. This is another main idea, line 57 until 61. The point most debated for centuries has been not whether there was any primitive oral language, but what that language was. So this is the evolution of linguistic theories. So زي ما شايفين هنا يا شباب, this has a lot of ideas, be criticism of traditional views, of old views, approach various fields, historical context. I mean, so much here we can unpack. الباسج ده فعلا صعب. So let's go into the questions. Question number 33, which of the following does the author claim to be true of language? So question number 33 بيسألنا what inference احنا ممكن نعملها true of language. Let's check out evidence الأول from 6 until 11, from 18 until 23, from 26 until 29, and from 31 until 33. What does the author feel is true of language? So again, احنا اتكلمنا عن ده, right? And there is a connection between language and thought. أول حاجة أقول لكم correct answers بعدين نشرح incorrect answers. The correct answer A. In the past, there was an important link made between speech and thought, and the evidence here in 31 until 33. Now, there is a link, and it's clearly stated. So has been until recent years, right here. It has been until of late years generally held that the thought was not possible without oral language, and that as man was supposed to have possessed from the first the power of thought. Let me stop at 33, I think. So let's stop here. It had been until late years generally held that the thought was not possible without oral language. So مش هقدر أفكر من غير language. Thought was not possible without language. So answer A. In the past, there was a link made between speech and thought. What evidence in 31 until 33 shows us. Now, if we check other answer choices, I guess I'll make it blue. It is known how language became an essential element of communication. ولكن ده عكس الباسج. ده عكس الباسج. خليني برضو أوريكم من 18 until 23. Actually, it's up here. من 18. In the investigation of these old forms has been so difficult to ascertain how any of them first became a useful instrument. So it is known how language, احنا ما بنعرفش, بيقول لك it's difficult to ascertain, it's difficult to identify. فبيعكس, right? Answer C برضو, language is an innate phenomena. We'll know عشان بيقول لنا في البداية من line 6 until 11, language is learned, right? Language is learned. Some oral language of the general character of that now is used among mankind is natural to mankind. It is essential to be free from the idea. So it's essential to be free from the idea that language is natural. فأنت بيقول language is innate, يعني natural, and language is not natural, right? And finally, answer D, that vocal sounds are not sufficient enough to be the carrier of language. بس هو بيقول إزاي بنعمل language or the sounds here. So it is enough. So برضو دي عكس الباسج. So for 33 هنقول إجابة A and 34 هنقول إجابة D. I don't think there's any other issues for 34. Answer A, number 34. This shows a misconception, not a link. احنا بندور على link برضه صح؟ لو قلنا هنا there was a link between speech and thought لازم برضه evidence يقول لي في link. So that's not mentioned in answer A. In answer B برضه بيتكلم عن origins و answer C بيتكلم عن the communicative aspect ازاي بنكلم الصوت نفسه. Question number 35 produced. So number 35 أنا أختلف مع answer key. Oral language consists of variations and mutations of vocal sounds produced as signs of thought and emotion. I went with answer A, created, right? عشان the sounds you create to talk. And الباسج بيقول answer B, delivered. Very close. الانسر كي بيقول B. You know what? تلاقوني برضه بقول لكم B, but I chose A on this. مش هكدب عليكم. I'm still مقتنع بإجابة A. EST is a bit tricky with these things. Provoked يعني يطلع reaction and offered يعني يقدم حاجة. So it's sounds that are delivered ينفع وبرضه sounds that are created برضه ينفع. So I feel like it's an ambiguous question هنا for number 35. If he chose B برضه, you're going to see the answer key يقول لك B is correct. I went with A. مش هكدب عليكم يعني. Number 36, in line 43 until 46, the author uses a quotation too. So نقرأ ده وليه بنستخدم الquotation اللي لازمتها من 43 until 46 here. In a lecture delivered before the British Association 1878, it was declared that بعدين بدينا quotation. صح؟ بعد كده بدينا quotation. It was declared that animal intelligence is unable to elaborate that class of abstract ideas, the formation of which depends upon the faculty of speech. If instead of speech, the word utterance had been used as including all possible modes of intelligent communication, the statement might pass. The statement might pass without criticism. But we will criticize it. عشان لو قال بدل يقول speech يقول utterance نعديها بس ما قالش كده فمش هنعديها. So why does he use the quotation? He's criticizing the idea that thought and speech are codependent, right? It may be doubted if there's any more necessary connection between abstract ideas and sounds. Abstract ideas معناها thought. Okay? Again, but it may be doubted, right? نشك if there's any more necessary connection between abstract ideas and thought. So شايفين ازاي لازم نقرا الانفورميشن اللي بعديها؟ شايفين سألني على ده بس لازم اقرا بعديها عشان افهم ايه لازمتها مش اقراها كده وخلاص. Now again, support the claim that intelligent communication is dependent on oral speech. The opposite passage, the author is arguing against this. Okay? He's against this. So بيقول ده حاجة وده حاجة. Interpret future studies on speech. This is not supported. Bring light to the importance of lectures presented before the British Association. This is off topic. الإجابة بتاعتنا لازم مرتبطة بالlanguage and where language came from. Number 37. How do past theories of language differ from recent theories? I think this is an evidence question برضو. فين identify evidence الأول 80 until 86. 98 until 101. 101 until 106, and 108 until 114. So how do past theories differ from recent discussions? So أنا بدور على حاجة that indicates to us past theories, okay? وهوريكم الevidence الأول عشان هدور على evidence بيوريني past theories different from recent discussions. So هوريكم الevidence الأول. It will be 98 until 101. So نقرا الevidence, interpret evidence, بعدين نلاقي إجابة. Here. The discussion now, however, varied by the suggested possibility that man at some time may have existed without any oral language. This shows us a difference. But how do past theories differ from recent ones? ودلوقتي بيقول لنا now. So that recent. صح? And then however بيورينا contrast. However بيورينا contrast ما بين now وما بين the past. It's inferred at this point. It's inferred at this point. So بيقول لنا basically that مثلا ما كانش فيه language خالص. There was a chance ما كانش فيه language. So recent discussions focus on the possibility that oral language was not always a defining human characteristic. Answer A, answer B. Now again, لو بصينا باقي الإجابات. So for example, let's say B. Recent discussions outline the primitive tongue and which it may have been. So let me just choose A الأول بعدين نشرح والevidence بتاعتنا B 37 38 بس يعني نشرح the other answer choices. من 80 until 86, answer B, right? Recent discussions outline, okay. They have successfully shifted back to the postulated primitive tongue, to Sanskrit. So recent discussions outline the primitive tongue and which it may have been, but it's not recent. It's something that's always been ongoing. It's not recent, it's something that's ongoing. So answer B is a no good answer. Again, لو بصينا answer C, recent discussions state that images do not suffice من 101 until 106. من 101 until 106. It is conceded by some writers that mental images or representations can be formed without any connection with sound. Recent discussions say that images do not suffice, but هنا بيقول لي, you can make images without sound. So that shows us that they do suffice. هما كفاية. So C is no good. عكس 101 until 106. And then D, recent discussions point away from gestures. Again, actually point is considering gestures دلوقتي. وبيقول أساسا ما كانش في language, so كان بيعمل communications بحاجة تانية. So 37 on the A, 38 on the B, 39 faculty most nearly means line 38. Fine. That the latter has a special faculty. احفظوا كلمة date faculty. Faculty معناها cognitive ability. Faculty معناها cognitive ability, the ability to think. أي واحد معناها thinking aptitude. This means the ability to think. احفظوا الكلمة دي, mental faculties. Number 40, in accordance with the passage, the last paragraph serves. So دلوقتي again, question number 40, what is the function of the last paragraph? هنلاقي function generally here. Many arguments have advanced to prove that gesture language preceded articulate speech and formed the earliest attempt at communication resulting from the interacting subjective and objective conditions to which primitive man was exposed. What are we doing here? We have an old idea or we have a new idea, and then we're giving another idea. Okay, so what are we doing? So the information بعديها بيدينا new idea, right? But it's development of ideas. So development ideas مش معنى يديني new ideas. Development of ideas يعني هيديني details أكتر. So I wouldn't say answer A. Answer B, a continuation of ideas, but it's not continuing. It's introducing a new direction. Answer C, you're transitioning into two new ideas, right? So this is a new idea like this. This is a new idea. Hold on, let me just zub the format if that happens. There you go, we're back here. So I feel like these are transitioning into new ideas. I should بدينا what's the word I'm looking for? What's what I'm looking for? We're going from oral language في information اللي فات to gesture language في paragraph that's specifically here. Right, so here we're going to say transition to new ideas, and we're not refuting. Refutation and you prove wrong. We're not proving anything wrong. Which of the following best summarizes the passage? Which of the following best summarizes the passage? This one, again, we used to believe old language. We used to believe humans would speak and then think. بس ممكن احتمال كبير اساسا humans ما كانش عندهم language طول عمرهم, something like that. Answer A, many past studies make a direct link between oral speech and thought. Okay, new studies attempt to find links between thought and other means of expression just as gestures. زي ما انتم شفتوا احنا بدأنا oral language. من بداية الباراجراف اللي هنا we go into gesture based language, مش بس oral, it could be gestures والحركات الإيد. Different places you'll find here 31 until 36 شفناه كتير قوي. This seems to be like a very big idea, very important idea. And then also من 109 until 116 you have this right here, a new idea about gestures. So I like answer A. Now answer B, again, in the past, researchers faced difficulties in trying to separate the use of language and thought processes. Now they have combined the two, بس ده عكس الباسج بيقول احتمال كبير أساسا جه thought بعد كده gestures وبعد كده language. Answer C, past researchers make claims that language comes with thought not separately. ده عكس الباسج. هو بيقول لا ممكن جه thought and then gestures بعدين جه language. Answer D, communication is the process whereby a person expresses his or her own thoughts. I mean, this is a very vague answer. That's not really the focus here of the passage. So we'll go with answer A. Number 42, the author mentions lines 1 through 6, the maxim, in order to. So 1 through 6 here. And observing the maxim that nothing can be thoroughly understood unless its beginning is known, it becomes necessary to examine into the origin of sign language. So he's saying because of this maxim, it's necessary to do this. Because of the maxim, you don't understand something, so then we have to do this investigation. So link oral speech and origin of sign language. That's actually accent passage, right? We're not linking anything. Again, emulate, imitate, copy. No, justify the introduction to sign language he presents. I like this. I mean, how بيشرح, he's explaining ليه or why we're looking for the beginning. عشان نفهم language as a whole. And answer D, sound grand and otherworldly. This is an insulting answer. هو ما كتبهاش عشان rhetorical effect بس، هو كتبها for a reason, for a purpose. والpurpose ده بيقدم لنا البحث بتاعته, الstudy بتاعته. I did this study basically because of the maxim to understand the beginning means to understand the whole. So this was passage 4. Now we're going to go into passage number 5. So in this scientific passage, it's important that احنا نفهم فين هما main ideas. So I'm going to understand or identify some main ideas for you. Here in 1 until 5, without some knowledge of the structure of fungi, it is scarcely possible to comprehend the principles of classification. هنا بيحدد لنا the purpose of the passage. برضو من 6 until 10. Yet there is so great variety in the structure of the different groups that this subject cannot be compressed within a few paragraphs. Neither do we think that this would be desired if practicable. So again, بيحدد لنا أنواع or types of fungi structure, and then 15 until 26. In order to impart as much practical utility as possible to this chapter, it seems advisable to treat some of the most important and typical orders and suborders separately. So هنا بيقول لنا بقى الapproach بتاعته برضو من 38 until 50. I wish I could see it all, but it is what it is, right? So 38 until 50. For the structure that prevails, for the structure that prevails in the order of which the mushroom belongs, an examination of the species Agricini will be most sufficient. So here, it's focusing or بيقول focus that il passage. Also, I want you guys to see min 50 until I think it was 57, and 50 until 57. The earliest condition in which the mushroom can be recognized as a vegetable entity is in that of the spawn or mycelium, which is essentially an agglomeration of vegetable spores. So here we're talking about the earliest stage of mushroom growth, عشان هيشرح mushroom growth, and then in 55 until 61. Again, here بيشرح لنا برضو recognizable stage of the mushroom, in 61 until 67. This is the initial stage for بداية growth. بيشرح لنا بداية growth. In 68 until 74 بيشرح لنا the development of the shape of the mushroom. So overall دولت main ideas الموجودة في passage. Now let's actually go into the passage itself. But other than the complexity of the passage, it's not too hard, I think, right? Or at least I don't think so. 43, is this evidence? Let me just check my PDF. Make sure. Okay, this is evidence. I can tell it's evidence, Ashin. Which of the following does the author deem necessary to understand fungi? Usually in question, we have a general kida. It is an evidence-based question. 1 until 5. Let's see, 6 until 15. 15 until 26. And 26 until 37. So we want to know which of the following does the author deem necessary to understanding mushroom. المهم to understand mushrooms. Like I said before, I'm going to identify evidence الأول, and actually it's not hard. With some knowledge of the structure of fungi, it is scarcely possible to comprehend the principles of classification. Okay, هنا بيقول لك لو أنت بتعرفش the structure مش هتعرف classification. فلازم نعرف structure عشان نعرف classification. It's A, necessary, and A here, necessary. These are necessary situations. Now, again, an initial deep understanding of the suborders, this is not deemed as necessary. Okay. Answer C, an innate need to learn about fungi. It's not mentioned. Answer D, tackling larger components. It's not mentioned. So 43 هنقول answer A. 44 برضو هنقول answer A. وبرضو بالنسبة ل these evidences answer B بيتكلم عن structures مختلفة. answer C بيتكلم عن outline ازاي الapproach بتاعته. answer D discusses the importance of different groups. بس ولا واحد فيهم بيقول لي ليه ده مهم. answer A, it helps us infer why it's important. Question number 45, treat most nearly means. Okay. Number 45, in order to impart as much practical utility as possible to this chapter, it seems advisable to treat some of the most important and typical orders with the most typical orders and suborders separately. So to treat means يتعامل. So heal, يشفي, no. View, tackle, medicate. Medicate, لا. So you're left with answer B, you're left with answer C, tackle or view. المشكلة في view, it gives a passive meaning. معناه احنا بس بنشوف بنتفرج من بعيد. Tackle means to approach. طبعا لو بتتفرجوا على كورة تعرفين tackle يعني كورة. But here when you're dealing with a problem, you're dealing with a project, حاجة كبيرة قدامك لازم تخلصها, you can tackle it. So I like answer B the most as an answer. 46, which of the following titles best reflects the passage and the graphic? احنا اتكلمنا في البداية بيتكلم عن ال growth of the mushroom. وبيتكلم عن phases, right? بيتكلم عن phases of the growth here and here. So he does detail the growth. وبرضه لو بصينا على graph, we also see there's, بيقول لنا 2, 3. This shows us برضه some sort of growth or change. So the process of the gills, the shedding of the skin, agaric in the process of growth. Answer C. Answer C. It's not dying, it is growing. Number 47. In lines 1 to 5, the tone can be best described as. So بيسألنا هنا specifically. Okay? 1 through 5. Now, there's a lot of debate with this answer. It is anguished, pained, هيتعذب. ليه بقى؟ عشان بيقول من غير تفهم حاجة مستحيل تفهم order. So لو انت بتفهمش structure مستحيل تفهم اي حاجة تانية. So it is anguished. I wouldn't say, objective, because it's strong language here. So without some knowledge, it's scarcely possible. It's impossible. Satisfied, yani شبعان, sarcastic, no, it wouldn't work there. So anguished, there's a lot of debate about this word, a lot of debate about this question. Number 48, form most nearly means, line 69. As it pushes it through the soil, it gradually loses its globose form, its shape. Its globose form. بنتكلم عن form, بنتكلم عن shape, right? وحتى أنا عرفت الكلمة عشان بيتكلم عن إزاي الشكل بيتغير. 49, according to the passage, recognizing an agaric can start as early as. Is this an evidence-based question? And yes, it is. You could tell it's a very general question. 41 until 50, 50 until 55, 55 until 61, and then 61 until 66. So recognizing an agaric can start as early as. Okay, so when can we recognize the agaric? هقول لكم الافيدنس الاول من 50 until 55 ونشوفها برضو من 50 until 55. It can start as early as. So how early can we see it as the agaric, right? Here, the earliest condition in which the mushroom can be recognized as a vegetable entity is in that of the spawn or the mycelium, right? Which is essentially an agglomeration of vegetating spores. So the earliest time to recognize the agaric as agaric, هو بيبقى a mass of spores. Other the answer choices are not supported, right? So it's very clear هنا من spores. So here we're going to say answer B. And then برضو evidence هنقول, what do we say? Answer B. 51, which of the following lines support the second stage of growth featured in the graph? So عايزين نشوف graph. عايزين نشوف graph. You see how it's two things and then it's become one. حاجة زي كده, right? حاجة زي كده. So 41 until 50. So 41 until 50 بيكلمني عن three distinct parts. اوكي بس هنا بيسألني على second stage so it's one distinct part and then 41 till 50 موجودة هنا three distinct parts requiring elucidation بس this is the three this is stage one no عايزين stage two where it's one distinct part so I wouldn't say 41 until 50 68 until 74 yeah, right. So as it pushes through or loses a globose form, it becomes more or less elongated, and in this condition, a longitudinal section. ده اللي أنا عايزين نتكلم عليه. A longitudinal section shows. وده longitudinal section بقى شكله عامل زي طويل كده. With the gills هنا. So here we're going to say answer B. This is the second stage. And then last question 52. Which of the following is not mentioned? Which of the following is not mentioned? I'm so tired. So let me go D الأول. The veil has only been found in the Agoricini, I guess is how you say it. And I think it's mentioned. I mean, it's not mentioned anywhere. No, I'm sorry, it's not D. It's answer C. I just read this. The ring and the remains attached to the mushroom is a remnant of the veil. And here, if you read 92 until 97, fragments of the veil often remain attached to the margin of the pileus, and the color adherent to the stem falls back, and thenceforth is known as the annulus or the ring. The ring that remains attached to the mushroom is a remnant of the veil. I think I made it, no, wouldn't say that either. عشان ده موجودة في 92 until 97, so it can't be answer C. So I'm wrong there. The species has three distinct parts. وكلمنا عليها هنا برضو. No. The mushroom changes form as it grows. It does change form. The veil has only been found in Agrocini. I just want to find that. I don't think it's mentioned خالص or even for the text. So I'll go with answer D. Wow, that was a tricky one. All right, so this was March 2022 review. Thank you for watching. You can learn anything. Mr. Sema out.